Daniel grew up watching his own father work 2 jobs and still lose the house. He promised himself he'd do better. Yet here he was at 32, waking up before sunrise to stock shelves at a grocery store, coming home exhausted with aching hands and a paycheck that disappeared the same day it arrived. Rosa worked part-time cleaning offices at night, quietly wiping away other people's success while dreaming of a future she couldn't yet see. They had 2 kids, Emily, 8, curious and gentle, and Lucas, 5, full of questions about the world they could barely afford to show him. The hardest nights weren't the hungry ones. It was when Daniel lay awake staring at the ceiling, wondering if loving his children was enough when he couldn't give them more. Rosa would pretend to be asleep, but tears soaked into her pillow. They never fought loudly. Their battles were silent, fought in the spaces between unpaid bills and school forms asking for emergency contact. One winter changed everything. Daniel slipped on ice while unloading a truck and injured his back. The doctor's words were short and sharp. No heavy lifting for months. The grocery store replaced him within a week. Just like that, their only steady income vanished. Bills piled up like accusations. The landlord left warnings taped to the door. Emily overheard whispered conversations and asked, "Mom, are we going to lose our home?" Rosa smiled and said, "Of course not," then cried in the bathroom where no one could see. Rock bottom arrived quietly. One evening, the power went out. The kids thought it was an adventure, lighting candles and laughing. Daniel sat in the dark, feeling like a failure. That night, Rosa broke the silence. She said something simple but powerful. "We're poor in money, not in courage." It wasn't a speech. It was a truth they both needed to hear. The next morning, Daniel did something he'd never done before. He asked for help. Not money, but guidance. He visited the local library, spending hours reading about skills, trades, and small businesses. Rosa started baking bread at home, something she'd always been good at, and sold it to neighbors for a few dollars. It wasn't much, but it was theirs. Daniel learned basic repairs, fixing sinks, patching fences, painting walls, and posted handwritten flyers around town offering honest work at honest prices. Progress was slow, painfully slow. Some days no one called. Some weeks Rosa's bread didn't sell, but they kept going. Daniel taught Emily and Lucas that success isn't loud, it's consistent. The kids helped pack bread, handed out flyers, and learned the value of effort before they learned the price of things. Then one small opportunity changed their direction. A local cafe owner tasted Rosa's bread and asked if she could supply twice a week. That small contract brought steady income. Daniel's repair work spread through word of mouth. People trusted him because he showed up, worked hard, and charged fairly. Months passed. The lights stayed on. The fridge stayed fuller. The fear slowly loosened its grip. But the true transformation wasn't financial. It was emotional. Daniel stopped seeing himself as poor dad. Rosa stopped feeling invisible. They started dreaming again. Not of mansions or luxury, but of stability, dignity, and peace. They saved little by little. Rosa took a short business course at night. Daniel invested in better tools instead of giving up. Years later, that tiny apartment became a memory. Not forgotten, but honored. They moved into a modest house with a small backyard where Emily planted flowers, and Lucas built imaginary cities. Rosa's bread business grew into a local brand. Daniel ran a small handyman company, employing others who once stood where he had stood. One evening, as they sat at the dinner table, food warm, laughter real, Emily said something that stopped them both. "Mom, Dad, are we rich now?" Daniel looked at Rosa and smiled. "We always were," he said. "We just didn't know it yet."